I have an announcement, folks. It is still a hot ADA summer. We're officially at record high prices for Cardano ADA in anticipation of their huge system upgrade. So let's talk about the most recent news about this coin, why the price is shooting up, and my action plan with my ADA holdings. So we're going to start with what we know. ADA is currently up 20% in the last 24 hours after a crazy month. We're up 141% in the last month and up 79% since this post of mine. In fact, if you'd been part of my Patreon where I post whenever I buy or sell cryptos or stocks, you would be up 84.99% on your holdings since June. Now, the Patreon has been sold out, but for this video, I opened up an additional 13 spots. If you want one, grab it before someone else does because we do limited runs. That way I can just make sure everyone in the Patreon is taken care of. So we're now sitting at record high prices for Cardano and uncharted territory, and this can bring some uncertainty. And this is largely due to the Alonzo hard fork set to be launched on September 12th. This system upgrade will open up Cardano to proof-of-stake smart contracts. Now, what does this mean? This means that they can now do things like NFTs, which was largely slated for the Ethereum network until now. Much more DeFi projects, which is extremely exciting, which could potentially disrupt areas like insurance and banking and provide opportunities to third world countries. It is extremely exciting. We're talking about decentralized exchanges and being able to buy or sell cryptos far cheaper than we currently can, all done on the Cardano network. And an ERC20 converter, meaning people will be able to use Ethereum tokens on the Cardano network using proof-of-stake smart contracts, which is just honestly a genius move by the Cardano folks. I'm just extremely excited about all these upgrades and everything that's going on, and of course the price appreciation that we're seeing as a result of the excitement around this project. And I'm sure you're excited as well. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video. Now, there still are some dissenters saying that this upgrade won't happen or that it will be delayed because Cardano hasn't had a perfect history when it comes to predicting when exactly they're going to launch new projects. However, they've been very optimistic about this launch and about the date. So I personally think they'll probably hit that date. If it's a week late, you know, we might see a small drop in Cardano from the time where, you know, the delay happens, but you know, whatever. I'd rather them make it perfect, make sure there's no glitches, even if it's delayed a little bit, but I don't personally think it'll be delayed. So this upgrade to the Cardano system means that ADA will be a solid competitor to Ethereum, who still has a market cap 4.5 times larger than Cardano. So a lot of people are looking at these two and saying, hey, Cardano has a huge runway ahead of it. If it has the same capability or can match Ethereum, you know, maybe they should be priced the same, which means there's a potential 4.5x there. But of course, it's very hard to value crypto projects, so I don't want to give any exact price predictions there. Now, Cardano is picking up popularity, which means great things for people who already own Cardano. Now, if we go over to the computer, we can see something that I found really interesting, the inflows and outflows of various crypto projects. And this is according to CoinShares. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, we can see that with Bitcoin, the largest cryptocurrency by market value, they continue to see the largest share of outflows, which is just money either coming into the project or going out of the projects, with outflows of $22 million last week. Ethereum also saw outflows of 1.1 million, where Cardano ADA saw inflows of 1.3 million, which means more and more money is going to the Cardano network, which of course just means that people are liking this project, are wanting to invest in this project, and that's part of the reason why we're seeing this price appreciation alongside all of the excitement with this project. And then also something interesting, Brian Armstrong, who's the CEO of Coinbase, he tweeted recently saying that the Coinbase board of directors is allowing them to invest 10% of their profits into cryptocurrencies in the coming quarters. Now, this comes out to $160 million invested in cryptos just from their Q2 profits alone. Coinbase is an absolute profit machine. Now, many are speculating that a chunk of this quarterly investment, 10% of their profits, will go towards ADA. And of course, this will help out ADA as they are investing tens of millions of dollars into various crypto projects. But of course, we don't know exactly, and we won't know until we have the Q3 report and Q3 call for Coinbase when we get more specifics on what exactly they added to their balance sheet. And then we have just generally a lot more people talking about Cardano. I know I've received far more questions than ever about this project, and I've seen far more YouTube videos on this topic than ever, especially when we compare it to the dips that we saw in the recent months, but we're not quite at peak popularity. So I like to look at Google Trends here, and we can see peak popularity was actually the week of May 9th to the 15th. And right now, we're at about 50 to 45% of that peak, which is actually pretty bullish news to me, in that there's a runway here just in popularity with Google Trends. Now, of course, this isn't perfect, but it's just one additional thing that we can look at. It makes me feel better about the current price, even though we are at record high prices here. So in summary, we have a major upgrade coming within a few weeks, an upgrade that will make Cardano highly competitive, as it will have real-world use cases. That's what's most important to me, how this will actually disrupt. I'm not just looking for a coin that I just hope goes up. I want to solve problems. Now, some people think that this upgrade won't happen, but those comments have lessened over time as this becomes more and more realistic. There's far fewer critics, I've noticed, in the recent couple weeks. Now, Cardano's price is at record highs, and the coin is now starting to find a new baseline, considering all this big news and the new attention that it's getting, and new investors who have never held Cardano until now. Let me know if in the last month you bought Cardano and you've never held it before that. I'd be really curious. Comment down below if you're, sorry about that. Comment down below if you're new to Cardano. Also, let me know if you've been holding for a while, and if it's been like a year, let me know how long you've been holding. Now, Cardano does have room to grow if we compare to Ethereum. However, we do need to consider that it is extremely hard to value a crypto project. You can use the exact same argument to say a crypto project is worth $50 billion or $500 billion. It's really hard to value. So what am I going to do next given all of this news? It's a bit of a tricky question. On the one hand, I'm very bullish on the coin long-term, on the project long-term. But on the other hand, it's important to remember that 140% gains in a single month without any significant correction aren't sustainable. As excited as I am, I have to remember that those kinds of gains aren't sustainable over the long term. So here's my plan. My plan is I'm going to hold my position. I have 30,050 ADA worth around $77,000 last I checked. As much as I want to buy more because of this excitement, I'm going to hold off on any large buys at least until the Alonzo upgrade happens. I'm just going to do small dollar cost average buys until then. Also, a lot of you ask where I buy my crypto, and my whole portfolio is on KuCoin. I use their platform because their fees are way cheaper than Coinbase, and they allow me to lend out any of my coins and make a little bit extra money on my long-term holds. I'll have that linked in the description if you want to check them out. I've had great experiences with them so far. Now, why am I holding off on big buys? And I think this may be a perfect example of buy the hype, sell the news. More and more people are buying in anticipation of this big Alonzo hard fork. And then when the launch happens, there may be some kind of correction. This is what happened with the Coinbase IPO, and it's what happened with Dogecoin and Elon's appearance on Saturday Night Live. It happens all the time. Buy the hype, sell the news. Now, of course, it's possible that this doesn't happen, but again, we're in completely uncharted territory. If I were to guess what happens next, and this is just a complete guess, I would say that we'll see ADA continue to grow up until a few days before this big hard fork event, and then we'll see some kind of correction where the coin then reaches a new higher baseline, higher than it has ever been before. But of course, we don't know for sure what will happen. And that's why I'm holding off on big buys for now. And I want to say that me even talking about holding off on big purchases is so conflicting, as I'm a massive fan of this project, and I've been a huge proponent even through the lowest dips, which I bought nearly all of the lowest dips. That's why I've had great returns with this. I'm extremely optimistic long term. And I know that if I came on here and I said, Cardano's gonna 10x in the next month, I'm going all in, you need to buy now, the video would perform very well, but I feel an obligation to be as transparent as possible about how I feel. And that is, we're in uncharted territory, at least in the short term as the coin finds itself. Uncharted territory means that there could be short-term dips. Now, what if you're new to the project and you want to get into ADA? What should you do? Is it too late? This, of course, isn't financial advice, but you have a few options. If you like this project long-term, meaning you want to hold for multiple years, it doesn't matter much if you buy in now or you wait a month, but it could be a bumpy road in the short run. So you want to ask yourself, can I mentally handle a potential short-term 20 to 30% haircut on my purchase in case it happens, and be really honest with yourself if you can actually handle that. Now, if you want to hedge against that potential volatility, you could dollar cost average in. For example, let's say you want to eventually buy $1,000 worth of ADA. Instead of buying $1,000 at once, a less volatile strategy would be to buy $100 every week for 10 weeks. Then, of course, another option would be to wait for a dip, but sometimes dips never happen, and if they do, you might be mentally turned off on the project because it's no longer at its peak. This is really a mental game. Bottom line is, I'm absolutely stoked about the recent price action, but I need to give myself a bit of a reality check. As much as I want to go all in when the excitement is at a peak, I'm just going to do small dollar cost average buys for now, at least until the system upgrade, because there's just so much uncertainty right now. But overall, I'm extremely optimistic. Long term, it is still a hot ADA summer. So I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you enjoy what we got going on here, and I hope you have a profitable day.